Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Now, the upgrading of informal settlements and infrastructure in the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro in the Eastern Cape have hit a snag. The National Treasury has cut the grant funding to the Metro by more than 171 million rand due to underspending. The two affected allocations are the urban and informal settlement grants. In the current financial year, the Metro only managed to spend close to 40% of the Treasury grant after setting a target to spend more. The Metro will hold its council meeting today. SABC News reporter Lerato Fekisi has more.
Said to be affected is the urban and informal settlement grant. Just in terms of their urban settlement grant, we're looking at about 228 million, and also for the bulk infrastructure grant, about 120 million rand that is said to be taken back by Treasury for what they cite is the Metro not spending the money. But to give us clarity on this is the mayor of the NMB, Mr. Gary Fanigak. Mr. Fanigak, in an interview you recently had with one of the media houses, you cited the reason why there's been underspending 35% of the 40% you're supposed to spend is because your business plan was approved late.
That's correct, yes. So you're supposed to start spending on the 1st of July. Our business plan was only approved in the middle of or towards the end of August. We then had to call a special council meeting where we then approved the grants and therefore make it part of the budget and then being able to spend from it. And that was the delay. So we basically only started spending in September, October. So you lost a quarter. But we've caught up, we've put together a plan, we've sat with National Treasury and they've accepted our plan. We are waiting on feedback from them. And yes, the actual amount that's being cut, it's not money being that we have to give back to Treasury. It's our tranches that's still coming, and that is being cut by 172 million. I must add that we are not the only affected metro. It's all other metros. The metro that's benefited from these cuts from us as a metro is Buffalo City Metropolitan. But we want to be in the same situation as BCM. The reason they got it is because their spending has been up there. Their business plans were approved in time, and that is where we need to get. So the approach that we're taking now is that we're going to be proactive, especially in the coming new year, new financial year. We want to approach National Treasury, and by the 1st of July, we want to hit the ground running. We want our business plan approved, and therefore we want to start spending on the 1st of July, and we want to make sure that we are not under pressure to provide all kinds of answers to National Treasury when it comes to our actual spending. So yes, we've learned from this. It's not a money that's being sent back, and I've given the reasons as to why our budget has been cut, or our grant has been cut.
Mr. Mayor, is it also though not disappointing that there's been a cut, especially considering that a couple of months ago there were residents that have been complaining for a long time about issues of infrastructure? I mean, you drive around in various parts of the metros and you see visibly a dilapidated infrastructure. So should that not even been a priority for you to make sure that on the basis of protest, on the basis of dilapidated infrastructure, you prioritize making sure the money is spent?
Yes, definitely we are disappointed that our grant has been cut. I received a call immediately from the Premier asking me about this cut that he also saw via Gazette. We haven't received any input or feedback, or we weren't consulted on it. Apparently some people did put up a fight, tried to put up a fight not to cut our grant, but we're going to be, you refer to the infrastructure that you see around the city. Just yesterday I had National Treasury in my office when they remarked that when they landed at our David Steerman International Airport, unfortunately they only got to see the western suburbs of Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality, and they remarked how clean the city is, no leaks, and I said to them, yes, as much as I want to take that compliment, if I take you to the other side of this metro, you'll see that we are not performing so well. We are expecting another 300 million plus from National Treasury in terms of the RP grant. That is for infrastructure. That should come now at the end of the financial year for National Treasury. So when that money comes in, we definitely will be prioritizing the spending of that. What we can expect is that that because it's coming so late, our financial year in being the end of June, we looking at a rollover into the new financial year. But definitely it will be a priority for us as a Metro.
Then lastly, Mr. Mayor, in the last council meeting, which was adjourned quite quickly, there was an issue of a motion against you to be passed. Some people have been citing that perhaps the cut in the budget that we've just received now, and a lot of instability within the Metro, especially politically, should be a reason for you to be removed. What would be your comments on that?
Let me state it unequivocally. That motion, we've seen a letter being written by Councillor Troon. It was his motion. He's now withdrawn his motion. That's point number one. Point number two is the spending of grants. It gets done by the administration. I provide the oversight. I've given the reason why we haven't been spending as what we would like to spend. But we shouldn't be playing politics with this. It's happening in, I don't know, more than 100 municipalities across the country. So yes, we're not the only affected municipality. My removal it's not going to solve that problem. We're trying to get this administration right. We do have a suspended city manager. Our CFO just resigned. We still have question marks hanging over the COO. We need to get it right. In terms of political instability that you referred to, just recently, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had National Treasury here, and National Treasury, for the first time, said they have to concede the fact that for the first time in a very long time, there's political stability in this metro. What we need to pay attention to, though, is the administrative stability, and that is what we're looking at. Like I just mentioned, regarding the city manager, regarding the CFO, regarding the COO, on the administrative side, and we are battling, but we've told the MEC of Kochta, please come and assist us to get this right. It cannot be that administratively we are so weak.
And then lastly, Mr. Mayor, you cite that there are certain municipalities that have got it wrong and some that have got it right. So those that have got it wrong should not be celebrating that they got it wrong, and to say that others have got it wrong too should not be the issue. So are you going to now, going forward, take lessons from municipalities that have got it right? Because as much as many have got it wrong, many have got it right too. So going forward now, is your priority to say where ones have got it right, let's look them as an example and take lessons from them? 100%,
Lerato. We will be benchmarking ourselves against Buffalo City Municipality, for example. Buffalo City Municipality, for example, they've, according to National Treasury, their implementation of the MSCOA, which is the Municipal Standard Chart of Accounts, their implementation of it is the best across the country. So we have already engaged the mayor. I've engaged the mayor of Buffalo City. We've engaged their city manager, and we will be taking a trip to Buffalo City to find out exactly how they're doing it in terms of their spending, in terms of their implementation of MSCOA. And yes, so that kind of benchmarking, you're right, 100% correct. We need to benchmark ourselves against the best in this country.
Well, as the mayor of NMB, Mr. Gedifani Kek, speaking that the way forward now is going to be looking at the municipalities that have got it right in terms of spending their budget, saying that the BCM is a good example, and he'll be traveling there soon to make meetings and consulting with them to say exactly what have they done right to make sure they spend the grant funding given to them. Also saying that the issues of the metro have less to do with political instability but more to do with administration problems that they are now working on and trying to improve come the next financial year. For now, let's go back to in studio.
Right, Lerato Fekisi there from Nelson Mandela Bay in the Eastern Cape.